sorry.
All right, welcome everyone to live video. We had some issues getting us up, and now we're here. So welcome. If you'd like to see anything in particular, please put it in the chat or the comment section, and we will get to it in terms of a pose or shape. Anyway, we do this yoga every week, featuring Kathy Cormier, and here she is. Why don't you come on up, Kath? All right, anything you'd like to work on today, Kathy?
Keeping my shoulders open and my posture straight.
All right, well, let's come to the top of our mat after you sip your water. And hopefully this works here.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
People are watching.
Huh?
People are watching.
Excellent. All right, so let's find our feet, hands on our hips. We'll march it side to side. Now grounded through both feet, we'll rock it from side to side. And then finding your center vis-a-vis side to side. Now lifting toes and lifting heels as we rock it front to back. Starting to connect with our core. And then staying grounded through the toes, grounded through the heels as we rock it front to back. And then finding your center vis-a-vis front to back. From here, either keeping your stance wide or challenging your balance as you narrow your stance. Hands by your side. Relax shoulders. Let's bring hands to heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. A soft tuck at the chin, soft face. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, closing your eyes. And starting our practice this morning, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From a place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow breath in, followed by an equally long, slow breath out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to bring the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each sideways, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll encourage you to engage your abdominals as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out, more importantly, providing structural support for your low back as we move through these shapes and sequences. And a strong low back is a good part of good posture. Now finding the go-to breath in many flow practices, the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice. Now taking the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, hands by our side. And if you close the eyes, opening those eyes. All right, just work arms and shoulders initially as we inhale the arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling arms back down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Adding the forward fold in the back bend. Inhaling arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we fold again. Now finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do 1 more, just like that. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to arc. Exhaling, arching. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Sal A, I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. Don't worry about the frame too much. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground down, and I will not cue vinyasa as you find your down dog. Holding down dog, yes, hold your down dog. You're not going to do the push-up thing, this first one. And then I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply into the other, just feeling it out. How does your body feel this morning? What feels tight? What feels right? What feels somewhere in between? From a place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Tail end of our breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to arc the back when you arrive. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. On the inhale, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. The second one, I will cue vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine, keeping the elbows soft, you just cycle through a push-up. Inhaling into a back bend, be it cobra or up dog. And then on the exhale, back to down dog. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your breath flows in and as your breath flows out. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Awesome jump. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. Let's do one more Sun Sal A. We'll throw a plank into the mix. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine, elbows soft as you cycle through Chaturanga, yoga push-up. Inhaling into your back bend, shoulder blades back and down. Awesome. And then back to down dog. Now at home, feeling free to hold down dog. Maybe you sneak in a child's pose. For the purposes of this class, I'll cue Kathy to come forward to plank pose. And holding that for 3 or 4 long, slow breaths. Feeling that connection between her head, her hips, and her heels. Connecting with that metaphorical iron rod of strength running through the very center of herself. In the plank pose, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, back to down dog. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, hands over head pose. On the exhale, standing tall. Traditional second warm-up exercise, Sun Salutation B. Flow style. Inhaling into a chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground down, and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. In down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, flow style. Right leg high to the sky, high in the left toes. Now looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, and then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then riding the breath back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. Awesome, beautiful job. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high in the right toes. Looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, and then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Inhaling, and then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. Welcome Sean, welcome William, welcome Janet, welcome John. All right. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Equally long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, stay low, coming back to that chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. Second one, much like the first, but we'll throw a dragon dog into the mix. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, grounding on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. All right, we're going to add that dragon dog to the mix. Flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. On an exhale, knee to nose knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. We'll hold this third one before we step the foot front. Exhale it forward. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, navel to spine as you step that foot as far front as you can. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. From down dog, second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. On an exhale, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up, take your time. Exhale it forward and hold it. Inhale it up. Now we'll hold before we step the foot front. Exhale it forward. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can. Lots of abdominal engagement. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. Follow your breath. As we hold down dog, coming back to Samravritti, same breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. In, down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. There you go. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, back to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. Let's do one more sun sal beat. We'll throw a twist into our dragon dog. Are you up for it, Kathy?
I just need a little water.
A little water? There you go.
A little tea, I should say.
Always take care of yourself. The first rule of yoga.
Oh, it's good tea.
Awesome. All right. Inhaling into our chair. Knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length, arcing the spine, and then arching the spine as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. All right, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. On an exhale, bringing right knee to right elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and inhale it up. Now finding the twist, right to left elbow, exhaling, and inhale it up. Now bringing the knee center and holding for the inhale, and then on your next exhale, navel to spine as you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, inhaling. Gravity waves this morning. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. Take your time, you don't have to rush. Even though I might be cueing a little faster than you want to move, just slow it down. And I should pick up the signal to cue a little bit slower. Awesome. Second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. On an exhale, left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and then back up. Now finding the twist, left to right, maybe tap it, maybe not, and then back up. Now bringing the knee center and holding. And then on your next exhale, navel to spine as you step that foot front, take your time. Spinning the back heel down, finding your balance, there's no rush. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Finding your flow, connecting with your body. The connection's already there, but just a morning movement exercise to make fully aware of that connection. We are our bodies are ourselves. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, stay low, finding our chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy, as you bring hands to heart. Coming back to that watching of our breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. If the feet aren't hip width apart, let's get in there, either a step or a jump. Working with our fire breath, short, sharp exhalations out through the nose as we inhale the arms up in front. On the exhale, bending the knees and casting the hands back. We'll do 8. Last 2. Last 1. And then back up. And either stepping or maybe jumping those feet on in. I'll ask you to go sideways. Sun Sal C, an extended standing pose sequence. Inhaling into your chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big so one dive over. Take a breath to create length as you arc the back. And then arching the spine as you fold and ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you roll. So we're going to add a hip exercise to our three-legged dog. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder anchored, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now circling the thigh bone in the hip socket for 3, and 2, and 1. Taking those circles the other way. 1, 2, and 3. Now looking between the hands, you're going to pitch that knee even higher. Feel the stretch, the strength of your glute. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side. And then overhead, Warrior One. In Warrior One, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. And we'll use those hands to steer those hips front. You might also lengthen your stance if you want a little more stretch in your legs. From here, we can bring hands back to our shoulders, releasing and relaxing our shoulders, also steering heart front. Now warming up our upper back with asymmetrical shoulder rolls as we roll one shoulder front and then the other. Nice place to do this with one leg forward, one leg back. We've stabilized the low back. And then taking those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. Now bringing shoulders center and letting them relax onto rib shelf. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then I'll invite you to stretch those hands high to the sky. From here, pulling silk thread, straightening the front leg without locking the knee as we gather up the energy. Palms can face back here. On the exhale, cactus arms as the palms face out. We'll do 6 of these. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out in, holding cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers, enjoying the stretch. Moving towards an extended balancing sequence. Hands find the hips as we spin the back heel up. Taking a big step in, balancing on right foot as we find our flamingo, lifting that left knee high with a soft point to the toe. In the flamingo, I'll invite you to circle the thigh bone in the hip socket for 1, 2, 3, other way, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. From here, with your hands on your hips, I'll invite you to start to pitch the body forward as you start to stretch that leg back. As you start to stretch that leg back, we're moving towards Warrior 3 here. Now either keeping hands on hips, feel free to keep your legs bent, or maybe you bring hands to heart. Maybe you stretch those hands in front. Maybe challenging your balance as you lift the face to look through those hands as if you're holding a large glass ball. Hands in front can come back to the heart. Heart hands become hip hands. We can start to straighten the body as we come back to our flamingo. And then leaning a little bit forward as we lengthen through that leg front. Awesome. Lifting that leg a little higher. Now flexing the foot and sweeping it all the way through as we ground it on down. We're going to come back to our Warrior One with our hands on our hips. Steering Warrior One hips to Warrior Two hips as we steer the hips sideways. And then we're going to kick the back foot in. So that means we're not going narrower front to back. We're going narrower side to side. And then finding one long arm. Looking past those front fingers with a mixture of effort and ease. From here, painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling, Warrior Two. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll do 6. Here's 3. Last two. And last one, finding that reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath, and spreading our fingers wide, mimicking those ribs as we find more space in our hands. Breathing into that space. Now turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. From here, do you want a strap or a towel?
I'm pretty good, I think.
Pretty good. All right, a clasp of the fingers behind the back. At home, feel free to grab a strap or a towel. Shoulder blades back and down initially onto rib shell. Feel that. And then leading with the heart as you take a deep dive inside the front leg. Take your time. Feel some clearance between the hands and the back if you can. There it is. And now you want to relax the neck and heavy the head and letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold this rainbow warrior, I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, inviting any tension in your neck and shoulders to drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. Yeah. I said you go even looser than that, cat. Just let it go without losing your balance, of course. Now, before we come up, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin, stretching out the back of your neck, and then keeping that coming on up. Don't rush it. And lifting the chin tall to the crown, back to our warrior two. From here, transitioning to the triangle pose. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. You want to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. Grounding bottom hand down, thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf. Or you might bring a brick or two outside the calf. Once we set the foundation, we can use this top hand to rotate our ribs, opening up our shoulder, and then stretching high to the sky for the triangle. Yeah, you want to have as much shoulder as arm here, yeah. So if you want to go farther back, let us start here. Nice, beautiful. As we hold the shape with every breath in, as we draw air into our lungs, gathering energy in our center of balance, big ball of energy in the center of yourself. With every breath out as the air moves out of our lungs, finding more space in the shape from the inside out, connecting with the pulsation of the breath. From here, moving towards half moon, top hand finds the hip. We can soften the front knee. Taking a big step in, you might take a couple of steps too. Setting our base, right hand off to the right. Feel free to find frame. Feel free to use the brick or not. And then pouring weight into foot and hand as that back foot gets light. We can use that top hand to rotate our ribs, opening up shoulder, stretching high to the sky. Adding breath and movement here 6 times. I'll invite you to pulse that back leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now keeping back leg high, we can bend the standing knee 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now both legs straight as you find more space in the shape. And then top hand finds top hip as you soften the front knee, big step back or a small step back. Finding your warrior two. From warrior two, I'll invite you to find a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders. Lots of ways to windmill. Finding your low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. Take your time. Find your flow. How's your energy level, Kathy?
Pretty good.
We've got menu A, menu B, menu C. Menu A would be a child's pose. Menu B would be to hold your down dog. Menu C would be to find a plank pose and hold that for a few breaths. There's menu B. And then menu C would be that plank. Just depending on your energy level. So make it a practice that you want to do. You don't have to push yourself through these things. You want to, it's like when dessert's coming up. You pretty much want that dessert. So you want your plank, you want your child's pose, you want your down dog. You want your body to really enjoy this. So second side, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs as we stack the hips, lifted leg straight. You're not going to go that far. Now we're going to bend that leg, opening up that hip. Now we're going to circle the thigh bone in the hip socket for 3, 2, and 1. Take it the other way. 3, 2, and 1. Now wait for it. Looking between the hands, you're going to pitch that knee even higher. Feel the strength of that glute. And then sweeping that left foot through. Spinning the back heel down. Arms out to the side. And then overhead for your warrior one. Now in warrior one, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. If you're as long as you're going to get, you'll stay right there. I tend to go short. The way to lengthen your stance is to shift weight onto the front foot as you scoop the back foot back. Kathy's already pretty long there, so she's going to stay right where she is. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Yeah, you want to steer them the other way. Front hip back, back hip front. We're not actually going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. Now hands find the shoulders. We're going to relax and steer the heart front. Now working those asymmetrical shoulder rolls. Great place to do it. One leg forward, one leg back. The low back's pretty stable. And then taking those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. Now bringing the shoulders center and letting them settle onto rib shelf. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. Elbows wide to the side. Keeping that, we'll stretch those hands high to the sky. From here, pulling silk threads, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling cactus arms. We'll do 6, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out, last 2, breathing in. Breathing out, last 1, breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers, enjoying the stretch. Now moving towards our super fun balancing sequence, hands find the hips. Spinning the back heel up as we take either one big step or a couple of steps in. Preparing to find the flamingo as we balance on that left leg. So lifting right thigh high, soft point to the toe. Nice. As we hold the flamingo, I'll invite you to circle the thigh bone in the hip socket for 3, and 2, and 1. Taking it the other way for 3, and 2, and 1. Now coming back center, you're going to soften the knee of the standing leg as you start to pitch the body forward, lengthening that leg back as we move towards our warrior 3. And feel free to keep the knees, lots of bend in the knees to help with your balance. Either keeping hands on, you'd always tap the toe down too. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Hands either find heart, or we can bring those hands in front and lifting the face to look to those hands as if you're holding a large glass ball. What do you see in your glass ball this morning, Kathy?
Some tea.
Some tea. All right.
I see the wind outside. It's nice.
So hands in front, you're going to come back to the heart. Heart hands become hip hands. We're going to slowly come back to the flamingo as we sweep the leg front. And now we're going to lean a little bit forward as we draw our energy into our energy center, lengthening through that leg without dropping the thigh. Nice. Soft point to the toe. Beautiful.
I'm looking at the magnolia tree, which I only just realized is a magnolia tree.
Yeah, we've got one in front, one in back. Now lifting that leg a little higher. Awesome. Now flexing the foot, you're going to sweep it on through, coming back to warrior 1 with your hands on your hips. So find the frame if you'd like. With our hands on our hips, we can steer warrior 1 hips to warrior 2 hips as we steer the hips sideways. You might also narrow the stance. It's not front to back. You want to kick the back foot in, side to side. And then finding that one long arm, looking past those front fingers with a mixture of effort and ease.
I'm trying to just get moving.
That's all good. From here, we're going to paint some rainbows. Breathing in and breathing out, warrior 2. 6 times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And last one. We'll hold. Inhaling, holding that reverse warrior. reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath, and spreading those fingers wide as we find more space in our hands, and breathing into that space. Now turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. Strap towel, otherwise switching the clasp of the fingers behind the head. Oh, sorry, we forgot to do that part.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
We didn't do that this on this side. Oh,
That's all right, though. We can do it now.
You do it right now. There you go.
Started one side, now I switch to the other side.
There you go. And now finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back.
On the other side.
Shoulder blades back and down. Open heart, open throat. And then a deep dive inside your front leg. Take your time. And you want to feel some clearance between the hands and the back. And then you want to let the neck relax, the head be heavy, and letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold the shape, I'm going to invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, and try to keep that clearance though if you can. Inviting any tension in the neck and shoulders to drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. Now before you come up, we're going to do two separate moves here. So you want to really tuck the chin, stretching up the back of the neck before you come up. Now that that chin is tucked, you're going to come on up. Once you're up, you're going to lift the chin tall through the crown. And then finding one long arm, coming back to that warrior two. Transitioning to the triangle, thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. Take your time. Deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs. Keeping a little spring in the knee. We can ground bottom hand down, thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf. Or you might bring a brick or two outside the calf and make sure those bricks are solid and stable. With our top hand, we can rotate our rib, opening up shoulder, and then stretching high to the sky for your triangle. And yeah, so you want to think beautiful. So this side's a little, just notice that your shoulder here, it works more with the arm than on the other side. I'm not sure why, but as the arm goes back, that shoulder comes with. That's beautiful. With every breath in, we draw air into our lungs, gathering energy in that big ball of energy that's the center of ourselves. With every breath out from that big ball of energy as the air moves out of our lungs, feeling more length through both arms, both legs, and both ends of the spine. From here, moving towards the half moon, take your time, hand finds the hip. We can soften the front knee for a big step in. Setting your base. This time, left hand off to the left with or without the brick. Starting to pour weight into hand and foot as the back foot gets light. Once we're in the shape, we can use that top hand to rotate our ribs. Take your time. Always come back down and come back up. So you want to rotate those ribs, yeah. Now opening up that shoulder, beautiful. And then stretching high to the sky. Again, with every breath in, drawing energy into that big ball of energy in the center of herself. With every breath out from that center, finding more amplitude in the shape. And let's work the not the isometric exercises. I forget what they're called. But anyway, we're going to pulse that back leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keeping back leg high. We're going to bend the standing leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now both legs straight. More space in the shape. And then top hand finds the hip. Softening the front knee, landing either a long or a short stance. Coming back to your warrior two. And from warrior two. A big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders, finding your low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. Nice. Awesome. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little higher, more space in the low back, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length, arcing the back. Yeah, really feel that dip in back hard. On the exhale, puffing back hard as you round the spine. Hands can catch the back of the shins. On the inhale, stay low, knees over toes, hands overhead, finding your chair pose. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll ask you to face camera as we bring hands to heart. This time adding an isometric engagement, pressing those palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of your center. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by your side. Let's bring hands, grab some water or tea, delicious tea. And just so everyone knows, I'm working a cup of coffee behind the camera here, so.
Everyone has their juice.
Everyone has that. Stay hydrated.
Water.
Let's go hip width apart with the feet. Let's bring hands to the back of our hips, the fingers face down. I'm just going to circle those hips. Taking those hip circles the other way. And then back to center. So let's do a little cross step here. I'll go here just so Kathy sees what's going on. We're going to cross left leg in front of right. So it gets a little confusing with Facebook. It has a mirror imaging here though. So left is in front of right. Arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Now if your hands come to the floor easily, awesome. If you need to use a brick or two to feel a little more comfortable in the shape, why not? Grounded down through 2 bricks, relaxed neck, heavy head, letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. One of my favorite hip stretches here. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to circle those hips any amount. Could be a big circle, could be a little circle. Let it be your circle. Working at appropriate height, of course. And when you're ready, taking those circles the other way, inviting more prana, more life force into our hips, chasing any stiffness, any congestion away. It tends to accumulate in that place, particularly if we sit in a chair for a long period of time, which in today's society, we are often prone to do.
It's part of our jobs.
It is. Now coming back center, let's set our neutral spine as we bring hands to hips, back of the head in line with the sacrum. Yeah. And then you want to keep neutral spine as we hinge on up. Take your time. Once you get on up, we'll switch that cross of the legs, or we won't switch it, just uncross the legs and just give it a little shake. Yeah. You might invite you to bring the heels of your hands to your hips. Just massaging those hips. Now again, I'm going to go very deliberate here, just so we stay on the same side. I know Facebook switches things around. We're going to take right leg in front of left for a cross step. So right leg, here it is. Once you have that, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to create length. You want to dip back hard. Yeah, feel that arc if you can. And then arching the spine as you fold and hold. Relaxed neck, heavy head, letting your shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. When you're ready, any amount, starting to circle those hips. You can get very subtle here. You could work less subtle and big. Let your hips tell you what they want. The cueing in yoga is always listen to your body, but even more importantly, after you've listened, respecting what your body wants. And then taking those circles the other way. And we treat our bodies with respect and kindness, much like ourselves. Actually, we are our bodies, but much like ourselves, we respond appropriately. We get enthusiastic, we start to have fun. And then back to center. Did you take them the other way already?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to establish our neutral spine. You want to bring hands onto your hips, lining up the back of your head with your sacrum. And you want to keep that neutral spine as you hinge on up. And when we get on up, we're going to uncross the legs and just give it a little walk side to side. Again, I'll invite you to take the heels of the hands to your hips, just massaging those hips. From here, I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. We'll do one more sun sal before we call it a morning here. So inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. On the inhale, finding length, arcing the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as you fold. and grounding on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. This could be your last vinyasa. Make it a good one. Take your time. Almost like you're swimming through jello. And once you find that down dog, I invite you to land the knees lightly as we find a child's pose. Sits bones back towards the heels, arms in extension, keeping the elbows lifted as long as you can as you heavy the forehead through. And then letting the elbows and arms relax as we settle into the shape. As we hold this child's pose, I invite you to gently rock it from side to side, dropping your breath down as you find your belly breath, letting your belly massage your thighs as you breathe in, letting your thighs massage your belly as you breathe out. And that could be just on an energetic basis. My belly might be a little bigger than Kathy's, so if you're not feeling that physical connection between your belly and your thighs, again, just a virtual massage there. From this place, let's bring everything centered. It's all about sideways. We're going to keep hips and heels just as they are. As we walk our hands to one side, finding a side bend. From this place, we're going to come through center and then finding that other side. Yeah, so we find the side bend the other way. Take your time. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Feeling that stretch, one of my favorite stretches. Hopefully it feels as good for you as it does for me. Now coming back center, let's bring our feet off to one side or the other. You might have a favorite side. Maybe identify that and go the other way. Just examining your patterns of movement. And then we'll come to the top of our mat and we'll do a long, slow roll down. So feel free to grab the back of the thighs or not. Starting from your neutral spine, in Pilates we call it tall spine. Back of the head's in line with the sacrum. From here, tucking tail and chin as we find our C spine, two long arms in front, Frankenstein arms. Palms can face down, palms can face up, whatever you like. And then slowly rolling yourself down. Slow, 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 slow. Awesome. Kathy has this one mastered. I used to time her with a stopwatch. Now I use a calendar. And two long arms, bit full body stretch. We're not laying down and relaxing yet. Low back lifts. And then I'll invite you to sweep your hands by your side, finding your Shavasana, creating lots of space for your body. Do whatever feels right and good for you. Scooting the head back, flattening the shoulders, moving your bun out of the way. As we hold our Shavasana, tip of our tongue is now neutral in our mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through the nose. Initially focusing on the breath, but as we hold the shape, even letting that focus soften as we bring our senses inside. And we won't be here too long. So we don't have the yoga bells today, but we do have this awesome bell from Washington, D.C. that I think Josephine got on a chorus tour when she went to sing for President Obama. That was a long time ago. A wonderful day, though. Anyway, I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. And Josephine's our daughter, by the way, if you don't know that. She's on her way to New Orleans this weekend for her friend's birthday. On the road. All right. So let's move our minds before we move our bodies, bringing our focus back to our breath, watching as it flows in and out, much like watching a river as that river flows by. From a place of just watching your breath, shaping our breath, and we can vary the ratio between the inhale and the exhale as we find a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out. Keeping these longer, slower exhalations. I'll invite you to gently ripple fingers and toes, just inviting more prana into your body, more life force, more vitality. Inviting that life force in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles a couple times each way. And we want to support our low back here. So I'll invite you to press your back into the mat to support the action of the legs as you draw one knee in, the other knee follows. Now using your thighs to gently massage your low belly, front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Keeping the knees close in, keeping the neck relaxed as you reach back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin. Chin stays tucked, the hand comes back to the shin. We can start to rock ourselves forward to back to front, massaging our spine. If you need a little more oomph, you can catch the back of the thighs as we rock on up to claim a cross-legged sit. In our cross-legged sit, grounded down through our sits bones, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands as you settle your shoulders. A soft tuck of the chin as one hand comes onto the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with us. Thank you at home for practicing with us.
Thank you, everyone.
We try to do this most weeks unless we're traveling, and even then we might even try to sneak one in. But love to have you here, and as always, namaste sounds so much like have a nice day, and we'll see you soon.
We love you.
Yes, lots of love.
Bye.